Good morning. Scott Thompson here from Scott Art CNC, and I just had a quick little model build I want to share with you today. A fellow asked me to add a hand to an axe model that I have, and there's a lot of talk about building human features and stuff in Aspire, especially things like hands and faces and stuff. So this is my model right here, but I'm going to share screen with you and show you just how I created that, and we'll do a hand this time. Next time we're going to do a face. So stand by. A lot of the same tools apply on this. So here we go. All right, so hopefully you can see this. I'm going to show you the end product as I sometimes do. This is the battle axe that the fellow picked up on my Etsy store that he wanted to add. He wanted to add a hand to it, so I had to put together a hand for it. I'm going to show you how I did this hand so you can see just how that was built up. We're going to start over from square one. Not quite square one because I've already built, you can see right here on this picture that I've already built the vectors for this. So let's turn all this off though, and we'll go back to the photo. So I started out, I took a picture of my hand holding something, so I would get the correct posture for the hand. And then after that, I went around and created vectors around the entire hand and around each finger, the fingernails, and the thumb, the major components of the hand. So let's look at, there's a couple tools in here that are pretty kind of cool. You kind of wonder when you ever get to use them in conjunction. I'm going to show you those, just how I use those. So let's start out with, I'm going to come up here. We're going to work in level 3. I have all the components already built, but I'm going to show you how I built them from scratch. So let's start out. There is I need to build the forearm one here. As you can see, it looks like I deleted that one in the last. So let me just go back into this for a minute. I'm going to open that up, ungroup all of these. And when I say the forearm, I want to just get this section of the arm right here. So in order to do that, I'm going to separate the vectors right here. I'm going to use the D button to do that. I'm going to come up here, and then I'm going to click on these, and I'm going to go into drawing. Thought I had all the things I needed, but this will do it right here. This is kind of what I want, is this vector right here to create the forearm. So let's go back into that. Now we're going to do modeling. So I'm going to go into the modeling tool and create a shape. And we're going to put about a 1/4 inch behind that. We're going to a little bit of height in it right there. And I'm going to call that arm. Then I'm going to go down here to start a new component. I need some of this I'm not building any, it can go like this. The leftovers of this vector up here, I'm going to go back to it and just hit complete those vectors in the drawing model. I'm going to complete that. And I want to use this to just create a background. You can see there's some areas in here where on the hand, the fingers and stuff don't cover the whole piece of it. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to go back in and create another little, hit apply, and this will be actually the shape of the hand. I'm going to use, I want them to merge to the highest point on this particular one. And I just want that to be a background piece, so I don't want a lot of height in that for right now. I'm going to just leave that like that, and we'll call that palm. Start a new component. Now this is where I start building the fingers. So we'll start with the finger number 4. We'll hit apply. And you'll see what happens here. It needs to. I'm going to leave that finger just like that for right now. And I'm going to call that finger number 4. I'm going to start a new component. With this finger, same thing, apply. Give myself about the same amount of back depth here. Again, you can see how that finger look. It's kind of straight across, but it's got a nice shape to it. So I'll leave that one the same way. I'll call that finger 3, and I'll start a new one. We'll go over here and we'll do finger number 2, apply. It's going to need the same kind of depth that we had there. We'll hit apply. Finger number 3, number 2, finger number 1, first finger. That's the first finger, and we'll call that 1. So let's start a new. Let's go get the thumb done. We'll hit apply on the thumb, and the thumb needs some base height, probably a little bit more so than. Take that down just a little bit. And in the case of the, oops, sorry, I clicked on that. My bad. Let's hit apply again on that. And we'll call this one thumb. There we go. A couple more things to do here. This is a piece of the palm right here. I'm gonna hit apply on that. Shorten that up a little bit. Not quite as deep on that part. And this is the rough out of the hand. Now so the basic components have been dropped in place. So if I went back in here, I brought the battle axe up and I turned the battle axe on, you get a sense of how it fits in the hand. And you can see that I'm going to change this hand and my arm to merge instead of. You can see where it doesn't quite fit in the hand right. The fingers don't wrap around it. So let me show you how to make the fingers wrap around this for a minute. So let's start out with this again with the bottom finger, finger number 4. And the way we're going to do this is open it up in the build the tool function. I'm going to turn this way so you guys can kind of see how this unfolds. I'm going to use the tilt function. I'm going to hit set the tilt. I want the tilt to start right here, and I want it to go out to the tip of that finger. And I'm going to slowly raise this up till we can see if we get about the right amount of tilt. So that, I like how that looks, but let me tell you, here's the next part of this that I want to do just to make that work a little better. Now I'm going to use the fade tool. And I'm going to tell it to fade from right in this area here out to the tip. And that's going to give that finger, it's going to cause that finger to bend right along that. So I'm going to hit set. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to click at the end. Hopefully you can see those little vector. And you can see what happened to it as soon as it bent it right there. Well, that's a little bit more than what we needed. So I'll soften that up a little bit. You can see what you can do to a finger with that. Without you wonder about, it's a complicated shape to build a finger and make it bend. So let's leave it like that right now. I can, on the shape of the finger, I could take it down a bit more, bring it up a bit. Let's just leave it right there. Okay, so that's the first finger. Let's go to the third one. Same routine here. You're going to get to watch it repeat a couple times. So we're going to use tilt. We're going to put it here and tilt out to here. Probably get a similar amount. You can see it comes up. And this one is even more exaggerated. It's a little bit funny looking where it sits. And then we're going to go over to the tool over here for fade. And we're going to hit set. And I want this one to fade from about where that knuckle would be. You can see that it faded also, but probably a little bit more than I wanted it to. So I'm going to back that back up. And you can see what fade is just a great underused tool for this kind of shape creation. Close that out. I never named this one. Let's rename that one. finger 2. So in the finger number 2, we're going to use, the first thing we're going to do is tilt it. Well, I think finger number 2 can actually go down a little bit further. Let's tilt it, set. And we'll bring that up. So it's interesting. The other thing about, if we take that out of here, let's take that back out for a minute. And let's hit set. And let's tell it to set right here in the middle. So instead of, and then we'll put in the, you can see the other, it turns into a bit of a teeter-totter when you do that, because what you're setting is the pivot point on that first click you make. So in this particular case, I clicked in the middle of the finger, and that's where it's going to tilt from. So it's not what I'm after in this particular thing. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit set again, and I'm going to set the point back here. I had clicked it there, and that's what made it like a teeter-totter. So I'm going to click here and go back to there and get the effect that I want out of this time. I'm going to go up a little bit higher. We're going to click fade, and fades same sort of way it works. Yep. And it's faded down. We probably won't go quite that far. That's good. Close. Now one finger left. Let's that one seems to be sitting up a little bit higher than I want it, so I'm gonna also take that down a little bit, and we'll hit tilt. Get up above the other finger, and then we'll use just a little bit of fade. So this is mostly what I wanted to show you on these ones, that a bit more fade than we want. Now let's take a look at the thumb. The thumb needs a little tilt in it as well to get it up where we want it. So we'll hit tilt on the thumb. I want the thumb to tilt. I could tilt it from here to here, and it would make the thumb tilt up at the top. I really want the thumb to tilt from about here over to here. So I'm gonna, and it matters where you pick these points. I'll play with this just a little bit to show you. But if we tilt the thumb that way, you can see what happens here. I've created the pivot point right here, and that comes up. That's probably pretty close to what I'm after, but let's take that out of there for a minute so you can see what the difference is. And then let's reset the pivot point from here to here. And we go this route, and you can see that the thumb comes up a completely different angle than what I'm really after on that. So I'm going to reset, and you can play with this though. I love the way Aspire has this set up that you can play with it. So we're going to set the tilt there and there. Bring it up a little bit like this. Then I'm going to use fade. I'm going to hit set. I'm going to have it bend about at this knuckle here. There. Okay. Now at this point, what I'll do is I can turn off the axe. And what I'll generally do at this point is I'll take all of these components. I'll create a, you guys have all seen me do this before. If you've watched this, I'll create a sort of new level. I'll use the create component from visible models. I'll combine all those. And then I'm going to, I will add in the fingernails last because I want to do some sculpting here on this particular model for a few minutes. So let's just rename that hand. I'm going to take the hand and I'm going to come up to the sculpting tool. This is where I really think the art of all this stuff happens. Oh, I'm going to turn it off for just a second. And I'm going to grab the background picture. Sorry, I deleted that. Didn't mean to delete that. Let me hit paste. I've got the picture out there. Now I can kind of use that for sculpting purposes, etc. So get that here. Now I can go back into the sculpting tool and do some of this. So, and I'm going to just smooth some of this out a little bit, get rid of some of the bumps I don't like. That fade right there created a pretty sharp knuckle where I really didn't want a sharp knuckle. Take some of this off. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the remove, and I'm going to add in a little bit of the creases and stuff that you see here in the hand and thumb area. Using that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing this because it's just duplicate, but you can. And this is, a lot of this is going to be picked up on this hand by the fact that I've already created a model of the skin, and I'll show you that again. I'll redo that skin model. Do that. Okay, we'll leave that like that now. So let's put some fingernails in here quick. Build some. Sounded we have company?
Cool guy.
Oh, there you go. I heard somebody come in. Good. We're still in Florida, so we get the visitors. The pool guy came to visit, apparently.
Yeah.
I thought I heard him outside. And so we build, let's see what happens when we don't have a pool guy in Alaska, so when a pool guy comes here to visit, there you go. There's some fingernails on top of that. Let that start a new one. I'm going to also add one. I did the thumb fingernail separately because it's sort of sits a little bit differently than interrupt there. Close. So this is the hand roughly finished, although there's another part of this that I didn't show you guys yet. Down here, I'm not going to recreate this because I've shown you how to do this before, and you can watch one of my other videos to see it. Watch the beer can video, whatever. But I took the create a component from select imports, and I created a component from this photo, and I'll show you what that looks like. So there it is. It's essentially the, still got the nail in there. So it's just a lot of you guys have used this thing for engraving or whatever. And it's when people start doing photos of people, they start going, oh, this is how they photo engrave them when they is using that tool. Well, I like to use it to lay it on top of a 3D model. So if we put that on top of the 3D model with the nails in it and all the nails, you can see the hand takes on significantly more depth. And then we should be able to add the battle axe back in. Except for the battle axe has got to go there. So merged inside there. And there's the sort of finished piece, what that would look like building a human hand. So it's a pretty quick little video. I just wanted to show you how to do that. We're going to get into doing a face next, but I think you can get some pretty decent results of human body parts with Aspire using that basic concept. So enjoy. I hope you learned a couple things about using the fade tool and the tilt tool, because they're very, very helpful in model building in a lot of spots. So there you go. And if you get a chance, stop by our Etsy store. It's Scott Art CNC. And we'd love to have you visit there for a minute. I'm going to pop that up for a second here and see if that shows up. Here's our there's, of course, Itzy's always trying to, but this is our Etsy store right here. It's got Art CNC and just tons and tons of files and stuff in there created. I've put in a bunch of brand new ones this week, and there'll be some more new ones going in. There's a bass pencil holder some guy asked me to make. So, and I'm down in Florida, so I'm doing some Florida fish right now. That seems to be a big part of what's going on. So, but anyway, if you get a chance, stop by, and thanks for watching. And let me know if there's anything in particular you would like to see teed up on these. Okay, thanks.